It might not look terribly auspicious, but here marks the hoped-for spot for one of the final touted stages of Grand Inga, Congo's long-standing plan to build the world's biggest hydropower dam.
People have been saying for years that this is Africa's biggest white elephant, but there's a small chance, and it's getting slightly bigger, that it really could one day produce 42,000 megawatts of power. That would make it the world's biggest dam. Now, where I am right now is the plan for Inga 3, and the new idea is to make Inga 3 the first step of 6 to eventually create Grand Inga to produce those 42,000 megawatts. If it works, the first stage alone will cost $12 billion. That'll produce just over 7,000 megawatts, and it will stretch in a dam from the hill behind me right across to the hill over there, knocking these banana trees behind me out the way, and certainly the bridge I'm standing on. It's a big ask, as the expert who's involved in creating this idea said to me, who would risk that much money on Congo?
It's already been 42 years since the country first built a dam crossing the mighty Congo River, the world's second longest, and at this particular point, where it narrows from 7 kilometres wide to a mere 160 metres, it is also one of the world's most powerful. But today the two existing dams are in a sorry state. 5 of 14 turbines at Inga 1 and 2, both more than 30 years old, do not turn.
This is the control room of Inga 1, the first functioning dam, but it's not functioning very well. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, out of those only 4 are working. And 4 and 5 they're trying to rehabilitate with donor money at the moment. And all of them should be back in operation at full blast by the end of 2016.
State electricity provider SNEL has high hopes it can fix things up. Richard Kapir Bashinga, Director of Production for state power provider SNEL at Inga, says they have to modernise the systems. For the moment, the two dams produce only 1,000 megawatts for a country the size of Western Europe. Besides plentiful opportunities to export energy were Grand Inga to be built, to South Africa and eventually even to Nigeria and Egypt, at home the mining sector in particular is crying out for more power. Already, officials say Congo's growing copper sector, which carries the economy, could export 1.5 million tonnes a year, 50% more than today's exports, were it not for the massive, painful power shortages. I visited the country's top 2 producing copper mines, more than 1,700 kilometres away in the country's southern Katanga province. At one, a $3 billion investment from US miner Freeport-McMoRan, the impact is plain to see.
I'm here in the control room of the plant, and behind me is a graph showing power supply to the whole place. And this is meant to be a flat line, but in fact, over the course of yesterday, you can see there were 1, 2, 3, 4 power cuts, and that is bad for production.
Power supply is interrupted so frequently, thanks to blackouts and even bushfires affecting the cables overhead, that the country now imports power from Zambia.
Power is a very important aspect of our operations, as is people and logistics. Today, we use about 85 megawatts of power on average, sometimes peaking as high as 105. And while we incur frequent outages and disruptions of power, we generally have enough power to meet our production requirements today. Future expansions that we're working on and thinking our way through will require additional power commensurate with the amount of expansion that we actually put in place.
At Mutanda Mining, majority owned and operated by Glencore, which has put $5 billion into 2 mines in Congo, power blackouts added up to a month of lost production last year. These power shortages risk holding back output as miners turn up more and more rich-grade copper.
This is the newest pit at Mutanda Mining, and Glencore first made its investment in 2007 when it didn't know quite how much copper it was going to find. Since then, it found this. And they started mining it 3 years ago, and pockets of it are so rich in malachite, about 40% of copper, that they've even doubled their target production for the year, from 100,000 tonnes a year to 200,000 tonnes a year.
Boosting output like this puts ever more pressure on power supply. Glencore's 2 mines are already lending the state power company $368 million to try to improve this, including at Inga 2. But Grand Inga's backers also hope miners would be ready buyers for at least 1,300 megawatts of Inga 3, were it to be built. If it were to be commissioned as hoped in 2016, Inga 3 would not produce its first power until 2023. And to complete all 7 stages of Grand Inga, experts estimate it could take more than $50 billion and as many years. Congolese have a long wait ahead. For the Financial Times, this is Katrina Manson in Congo.